All right, hello everyone. We're going to be watching our first full-length film. And to get you set up for how that will happen, I want to go through the process of how we will watch and take notes on feature-length films. Taking notes on movies may actually be a totally new thing for you. It is something I had to practice a lot while in college and working on film school stuff. And it will feel a little funky at first, but I want to break it down into sort of the steps you need to do. Whenever we watch a feature-length film, you will need to watch the film. That's step one. And while watching the film, step two, it happens at the same time as step one, you will be taking notes on what we call a note-taking guide for that movie. Here is the note-taking guide. You'll have this document for yourself. And while you're watching the movie, you're going to be taking close notes on several things. There's always some guiding question I want you to think about as you're watching the movie. For The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, the question is, what elements of mise-en-scène, cinematography, and editing are most influential on this film's style? Now, we're going to be talking about those things starting on Monday or on Tuesday. But I want you to go ahead and get a quick introduction to that. Mise-en-scène, this is referring to costumes, makeup, lighting, sets, all of the sort of other stuff that we see inside the frame if we were to like pause a movie, all the stuff we were to see. The cinematography refers to the camera. What is the camera doing? What are the camera angles? Are we close to the subject? Are we far away? Is there any camera motion? And the editing refers to the types of cuts, the speed of the cuts, the rhythm of the cuts. Are there any fades? How are we moving between shots? And I want you to focus in on the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari on that question. How do mise-en-scène, costume, makeup, lighting, sets, cinematography, the camera stuff, and editing, of those things, what are most influential on the film's style? You'll think about that question as you watch, and you'll also keep track of characters, and you'll just type in, fill this thing out. As you're introduced to characters, you'll say, Alan, maybe in there as you learn about him. Maybe you'll also put in here Francis, you'll learn about him. And you may make a note there, friend of Alan. And your job is to keep track of the characters, their names, and who they are. Under questions I have, you're going to write down things that maybe pop into your mind as you watch the movie. Maybe you'll think something like, how did they shoot the murder scene? So if you have questions that come up, maybe you'll pop the question there so you know when we're discussing the film to talk about it. Where you'll spend most of your time is down in the sections that say plot and elements of style. In plot, I want you to keep track of the important things that move the plot along. Think of it like a plot synopsis almost as you watch the movie. It should be kind of a play-by-play of what happened in the movie. All right? So you can say like, the film begins with two men talking. They are sitting together and a woman walks by. Right? And you're just keeping track of what's going on. You can break it down that small. If you need to, you can also break it apart into sort of larger chunks of things. The film begins with two men talking about something that happened to one of them. And you can sort of describe more generally. Your notes should be pretty solid, though. You should be able to go back and look at the plot column and know exactly what happened throughout the film and have all the little details maybe you would need to discuss the film in detail. And then elements of style, you're going to keep track of those three things: mise-en-scène, cinematography, and editing. Maybe for mise-en-scène, you can say like, oh, the mise-en-scène in this film, if I can spell it correctly, mise-en-scène, the makeup looks really pale and thick. All right, you may put that down for mise-en-scène. Maybe as you're watching the movie, you're like, ooh, editing. You can say, there are not many cuts in this movie, right? You're just keeping track of thoughts about the elements of style, mise-en-scène, cinematography, and editing. And that's what you're going to do for each of the movies we watch throughout the year. By the end of this, you should have about 2 pages of notes, filling up this section and then continuing this document into a second page. You should have pretty comprehensive notes. After you've watched the movie, then you'll go in and you'll take the comprehension quiz. There's always some little check-in I want you to answer so that I know whether or not you've actually sort of absorbed what's going on in the movie, especially this year where we aren't watching them together in class and I can actually watch you watch it. I need to know that you've actually watched the film before we start discussing it. We can't discuss the film if we haven't all actually watched the film, all right? For The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Battleship Potemkin, and City Lights, The movies will be linked on the note-taking guide here. You'll be able to find, here, you'll be able to find the movie as well. And then this video will be linked onto this document as well, so you always know where to find it if you need help remembering what to do. But I do expect you're filling out all of these boxes and ending up with about 2 pages of notes while watching the movie. After you're done with the movie, complete the comprehension quiz. All right, good luck.